So I decided to do a talk through video because I feel like it explains more. And I start off with using the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. And just rub it in my T-zone at first. And then whatever is left, I just rub it on like the outside of my face. Next, I use this eyeshadow primer by Hard Candy. And the next thing I do is my eyebrows, but I'm gonna do that off camera because it takes so long. I use the NYX Taman frame though in the color Espresso, and I use a Morphe angled brush. After I fill in my eyebrows, I just carve them out with the Tarte Tape Shape. And I mix my Tarte Amazonian Clay and a little tiny dot of this Dermacool foundation. I just take a damp Real Techniques sponge and then I just pat it in like this. This Dermacool foundation has been all over the internet lately. And I ordered it and it's like $13 off of like Amazon. And it's so full coverage. I love it. I go in with my Tarte Tape Shape and I'm in the color Light. And then I just take the wand and then I put a little bit on my chin, down my nose, and on my forehead like this. And then I put a little bit beside my lip and above my lip. Then I just go back in with my sponge and I blend that out. Then after concealer, I powder. I bake. I actually don't know if you would call it baking, but I use the Airspun loose powder. This is what it looks like. And then I use a damp Real Techniques sponge. And I go under my eyes. And I kind of bake at first, and I put it on top of my eyelid, and then I do my chin, the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and the sides of my mouth. Then I take my sponge and I dip it in the powder, and I just press this in all over the other areas of my face that aren't baking. And then I do it to this cheek. Then I do this side of my forehead. Then I do the left side of my forehead. I do the sides of my nose. And then I go over where I was baking on my nose and I press that in too. And I go under my eyes and start pressing that in. I just take this big like kabuki kind of brush and I take my Rimmel powder and go all over my face just to make sure everything is blended. Next, I just take this Morphe blending brush and I'm going to go into Burnt Orange from my Modern Renaissance. I just start blending back and forth in the crease. Then I go and blend the edges and I go higher up. I just take the same brush and I'm going to go into Warm Taupe just to blend things out a little better. I'm just going to go over the same areas that I went in with Burnt Orange. Next, I'm just going to take this Morphe brush. It's clean, it doesn't have any color on it, and I'm just going to go over what I just did and make sure everything is blended out. Next, I'm going to take this more dense blending brush and I'm going to dip it into Love Letter. I'm just going to go right in the crease, not bringing it too high up because I don't want this to be very noticeable. I just want a little bit of the pink color. And I'm just going to blend this back and forth in the crease. And then once I have that how I want it, I'll bring it up a little bit just to blend colors together. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of this pink color. And I'm going to put it in the crease, and you just build it up to however you like it. At first I thought I didn't want that much, but then I decided I wanted a little bit more. I'm going to take a new brush and I'm going to dip it into this light, like purpley shade. I'm just going to go over where I just put that pink and blend it out. Now I'm just going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to dip it into this top pinkish sparkly shade. I'm going to pack it on the lid. And then I just rub back and forth to smooth everything out. Now I'm going back to the first blending brush that I started with, and I'm just going to blend back and forth. I didn't put any extra product on the brush, so I'm just going to put this in my crease and blend back and forth so it gets rid of any of the glitter that got in your crease, because your girl has hooded eyes, so that happens to me. So if it doesn't happen to you, then that's wonderful. Now I'm going to take my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I'm just going to take this shimmery shade all the way over here. I'm just going to put this on my brow bone to highlight it. Now I'm just going to take this blending brush, it has no product on it, and I'm just going to kind of go over where I just put that highlight color and blend my crease and the highlight together. I'm going to dip it in burnt orange, and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. I'm going to go from the outer corner to the inner corner, and I'm just going to blend this really good. Next, I'm just going to take this pencil Morphe brush, and I'm going to dip it in Love Letter, and very close to my lash line, just on like the outer corner towards the middle, I'm going to put this pink color. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of this matte purpley color, and I'm going to blend those two together. I just use this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this is a Morphe brush. And then I find the hollows of my cheeks, and I just rub back and forth in a straight line. And then after going back and forth like that, I kind of just start doing circular motions in the same area. And I just keep repeating this until it's how dark I want it. And I'll kind of bring it up higher, like on my cheeks where you would put blush, because I just feel like that blends it more. And that's how I like mine. And I put it on my temples like this. So now for bronzer on top of the contour, I'm just going to use this old Eco Tools brush, and I'm going to take this Physicians Formula powder. It's in light bronze, and I pretty much just put this in the same place that I put the butter bronzer. Then I put it on my temples, I put it down my neck. I am a little excessive when it comes to bronzer. Then I go in with my Milani Baked Bronzer. It's in the shade 05. And then I go over the same places that I went with the other two. And then if I don't feel like contouring my nose very harshly, then I just dip a little bit, and then I just squeeze the brush kind of like this, and I kind of just brush it down the sides of my nose. And then under the tip like that. That way it just bronzes up your nose too and adds a little bit of dimension so you don't look like you just have a potato in the middle of your face. And then one more bronzer, I take this really big blending brush, and then I just dip this in my Rimmel bronzer. It's in the shade Sundance. This one's really pretty. It has like gold specks in it. I love shimmery bronzers. And then this one, I kind of aim higher up because it is a bigger brush, so it's just going to get like on my cheeks where blush is supposed to go. And it just blends everything together, makes me more bronzy. Put some on my nose, on my forehead. Now we go back to our Airspun and our sponge. And then we're just going to drag the sponge right under our contour and bronzer and form a really straight line. And this is just going to clean everything up and make this a much sharper contour. Now we're just going to let that sit for a minute while we do our highlight. For highlight, I use the Carly Bible palette. Excuse this palette, it's my sister's. I steal it from her, and she kind of murdered it. So I go in with this shade, pretty much the only one left. It's the gold highlight shade. I need to get a new palette. And then I'm just using this little tapered brush. I got it in my Ipsy bag, and it's just the B35 tapered highlight brush. And then I kind of just go in swirls back and forth. Then I just take the same gold color and I kind of bring it all around my face on the outsides like this up here. I kind of just connect it down here and then bring it up like this on my temples and above my eyebrow. Then with the tiny little bit that's left, and this is what I use for my nose, I dust my forehead, my chin, and my Cupid's bow. So then I go in with my Becca in the shade Moonstone, and I just go over, and then I go over my nose again, back on my forehead and temples, chin, Cupid's bow. I'm just going to take the big kabuki brush and I'm going to just rub it off. And the blush I'm going to use is this Milani Baked Blush. It's so pretty. It's in the shade 02. And we start on the back of my cheek, and then I just move forward to my apples of my cheek. So I'm just going to take this Ulta brow tint in the shade Medium, and I'm just going to brush up on the front of my brows. I kind of brush up all the way through my brow, and then kind of over to lay down the hairs. I brush up mainly in the front and then kind of like at a diagonal on the rest of it. Next is mascara, but I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to use the Voluminous Lash Paradise. Oh my god, this is waterproof. That's why I can never get my mascara off. I am literally retarded. Wow. I should probably read things more often. Okay. The next mascara I use is this Clump Crusher by Lash Blast. I feel like this one separates my eyelashes better, so I use this one in the middle of the 3 mascaras I use to spread them out more. I use this on my bottom and my top lashes. And then the third mascara I use is the Lash Sensational by Maybelline. This is what my eyelashes look after the third one. They're a little clumped up, so I'm going to go back in with the green one and spread them out some more. This is my eyelashes after I'm done with all 3 mascaras. I'm going to go in with this Tarte lip paint in the color Festival. The last thing I go in with is setting spray, and usually I use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I swear by that stuff. I love it. But I'm out. So we're going to use this little Ulta matte setting spray that I got in this little kit that I bought from Ulta. Oh my god, that literally applied so terribly. Ugh. It came out in like wet spurs. Dry the tsunami that just hit my face. Gosh, that was terrible. Okay, so this is the end of the video. Sorry if that was a little bit awkward. It's kind of weird talking to a camera sitting in your room by yourself, but I feel like this would help more with helping people understand what I'm doing and what I'm using. If you made it to this point and watched the whole video, comment down below because I want to know who gets bored and just leaves. Probably everybody. So